Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to Towering TBR. It's been a while since I've updated you on what I've read, and so I am going to be grouping some similar books together. I am going to be talking about illustrated stuff, which will be graphic novels, graphic memoirs, and a picture book. I realized last year that I didn't read very much illustrated works, and I think one of the reasons why that was is because it takes more energy to edit these videos. I want to make sure you get a sense of the art, and that just takes a bit longer. But I'm not going to let that stop me, and I have 4 that I'd like to share with you today. The very first book I picked up was Woe, A Housecat's Story of Despair by Lucy Knisley. This is a graphic work of her cat called Linny, who is super dramatic and just over the top, lots of fun. The stories definitely rang true in terms of having demanding kitties that don't care what you're doing. They just will sit on top of the book you're reading or whatever and demand attention. Another scene that really rang true to my personal experience was when Linny, the cat, would try to drink water out of water glasses that Lucy had. Yeah, yeah, my cats do that too. And in the comic, Linny says, "The forbidden waters, I must have it." All of the interactions like that are super dramatized, but in a very funny way. I laughed at many of the antics, but then I also sobbed when I found out that Linny is no longer alive and that this book was written kind of in memory of her. Cats take up space in my heart, and I just loved hearing about Linny and how well loved she was. So I gave it 5 stars. Next, I continued in the Lightfall trilogy by picking up the second book, Shadow of the Bird by Tim Probert. Because it's a sequel, I can't really tell you what it's about, but we follow the same characters from book 1 as they learn more about the history of their world. I think the art is incredibly gorgeous, and I love having a map. I have the third book checked out, and I'm excited to get to it soon. Have you heard of this trilogy? I feel like it's not talked about on BookTube much. So I've probably mentioned several times that Jenny Lawson is one of my favorite authors, and I follow her on social media, and when I saw that she gave 5 stars to the graphic memoir called Give Me Space But Don't Go Far by Haley Weaver, I just had to get it. And I'm so glad I did because this was another 5-star book. Haley is a competitive swimmer who also deals with anxiety. And she draws her anxiety coping mechanisms as like little personified characters, which I really liked. It was very darkly humorous. One of the coping mechanisms was called the distractor, and she anthropomorphizes it and shows how it would give her a reprieve from her anxiety by getting her down these rabbit holes of obsession and just distracting from whatever it was that was making her anxious, which would sometimes cause her to make really impulsive decisions. Again, very relatable. I also enjoyed her coping mechanism called the liar, which, if you look at his pants, they are on fire. Instead of calling them lies, he would call them creative, imaginative opportunities, which was just kind of funny. There were several that I enjoyed, but I will leave you to discover them because that was quite a bit of the fun. I really liked the ending quote that she did, so I'm going to share that really quick. She says, "Here is what I wish I could have told myself. You're not going to find yourself in one place. Your true self isn't waiting for you in the pool, and she isn't tapping her fingers at the desk of your dream job. She's not sitting in another state or country, living the life you were always supposed to live. Not unlike the water itself, you are not static. Instead, you move with the waves of change and growth and setbacks. There is not one answer to the question, who are you? The answers could be infinite. The answers are never set." I thought this was a very good depiction of anxiety, and I would definitely recommend this book. And lastly, I don't normally pick up picture books. That's just not something that I'm usually interested in. But when I saw that Daniel Nayeri had this book out, I was like, I have to give it a shot. His memoir and his fiction book both got 5 stars from me, and so I had to pick this up. This is a story about a little boy who has lost his mom. The story is also a palindrome. It starts out with "she was gone" and ends the the story with She Was Gone, but in a much better place. I didn't really care about the palindrome, and I thought the story was good, but not anything special. The thing I thought was special was the artist, Matt Rockefeller. His drawings, I think, are just really, really beautiful. And by chance, I looked up to see what else he had illustrated, and he has illustrated a graphic novel series called The Five Worlds, which coincidentally I saw Chattie over at Chattie the Mad Chatter talking about recently. She's picked up the first two and enjoyed them. And so I'm definitely going to seek out more of his art because I thought it was really pretty and yeah, really loved it. This is very good. I would definitely recommend for kids who are dealing with grief and maybe want the words to describe how they're feeling. So this was really good. I wouldn't advise it for adults, but if you like picture books, it was good. I'm curious, have any of you heard of the Five Worlds graphic novel series? I have no idea really what they're about other than they're magical. So if you've read them, let me know what you thought of them. Okay, so that was a quick video about the 4 illustrated works that I have read recently. Are you curious about any of these? Do you have any that you would recommend? I definitely want to read more graphic works this year. And so if you have any recommendations, definitely leave them in the comments below. I have 2 pieces of book news to share. The first is that I am switching over to the Storygraph. I have been on Goodreads for 7 years now. And so I have a lot of data that I'm working on switching over. And I'm going to have to build my social group over there as well. So if you're on Storygraph, definitely add me. I'll be putting my link in the description below. And if you are considering switching to Storygraph, do it. There are a lot of really cool features, and I'm having a good time exploring them. The other piece of news that I wanted to tell you about was I was recently approved to be in the ALC program on Libro FM. ALCs stand for Advanced Listening Copies. I've been on NetGalley for a while, but I haven't been reviewing much because with my migraines, I have a hard time reading print. I really do need the audiobook as accommodation. And unfortunately, they just didn't have a very large selection of audiobooks to listen to in advance. So I have been approved for Libro FM's program, and I will be reviewing some frontlist books this year. I am really excited about it. And yeah, just wanted to share. So yeah, let's have a chat down in the comments below. You can tell me what you've been reading recently and if you've been enjoying it or not. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.